Welcome to Sports Guy Talking. I am Dustin Tran, your host, as I am joined by guest Holden Douglas today to talk about the disrespect that the Nuggets have been getting all season long. The Nuggets advanced to their first ever NBA Finals appearance in franchise history, despite being doubted by many NBA experts and fans all season long. Nikola Jokic has been fantastic for the Nuggets as he has put on a historic run in the NBA playoffs this season. Before I say anything else though, I want to present you guys with the topic question. So, here it is. Why do the Nuggets keep getting disrespected?
The main reason why the Nuggets get disrespected is simply because it's about the media. And the media, they always like to talk about flashy names. They like to talk about superstars and big cities. So they were always talking about the Lakers. Like, even when the Nuggets were winning, the biggest headline was like, oh, the adjustments the Lakers made towards the end of the fourth. Can LeBron come back and win this series? Or how does this affect his legacy? It was never talking about the Nuggets. And the main reason for that is that they play in Denver, which isn't like the flashiest city. And they have Nikola Jokic, who isn't one of the biggest personalities in the league. So because the media isn't necessarily attracted to this team, it caused them to get underestimated and underrated. So therefore, a lot of people thought that they were worse of a team or less of a team. And the media coverage has a lot of favoritism. And unfortunately for the Nuggets, they weren't in the media that much. So therefore, everyone just thought they weren't that good of a team. And now everyone's seeing that Denver was the best team in not the best Western Conference.
I agree with you for many of the points that you did make. I'm going to go ahead and add on with some of the reasons that you did say. I like the fact that you point out that the mainstream media has been Lakers biased throughout the Western Conference Finals. I think the fact that the Denver Nuggets don't have a rich history also plays a role in it as well. When you think about history in the NBA, you think about how the Los Angeles Lakers have won many titles in their history. You think about the fact how the Los Angeles Lakers have had many superstars throughout the years. But when you look at this Denver Nuggets team, the Denver Nuggets are not a rich history. This is a team that has never been to the NBA Finals until right now as we are speaking. When you talk about this Denver Nuggets team, who do you think of as the best players in Nuggets history? Carmelo Anthony is probably at the top of the list. Now, Carmelo Anthony, he's a really good player, but is he an all-time great? I don't think a lot of people are going to say that he's going to be an all-time great. When you look at this Denver Nuggets team, though, they are so underrated at what they do. And another reason why they're underrated is because Nikola Jokic, their superstar, is not an interesting personality. I like Nikola Jokic a lot. If you've known me and been watching my videos, you know that I've been higher on Nikola Jokic than most of the general audience. I'm probably his biggest fan that you probably know personally speaking. But Nikola Jokic, man, he's a baller, but the media doesn't recognize that he's a baller because he plays in Denver. And he's not a guy that runs his mouth. He doesn't have this big personality that he has out there, and it's not exactly like he does a lot of endorsement deals in there. What do we know about Nikola Jokic outside the fact that he plays in Serbia to start off his career and the fact that he plays basketball? It's not like we know a lot about Nikola Jokic. It's not like he's dating this model out there. It's not like he's dating this actress. It's not like he's endorsing this shoe brand, that shoe brand. It's not like he's trying to team up with other superstars and say, let's go play in a big city team. Nikola Jokic, all he does is play basketball and just figure out how to improve his game and how to be loyal to one team. It's kind of like the Tim Duncan syndrome in terms of the fact, and you should know this because you're a Spurs fan as well. Tim Duncan was a guy that just liked to play basketball and do whatever his coaches told him to go do. And that's exactly what Nikola Jokic has done. When you look at what Michael Malone's doing, a lot of superstars would not let Mike Malone talk the way that Michael Malone has been talking, but that's exactly what Nikola Jokic has done. Michael Malone is brash, he's outspoken, and he criticizes his players, and Nikola Jokic allows that to happen. So you also got to look at it like that too, because the NBA is a players' league. It's not necessarily a coaches' league, but it's not the case in Denver. The Denver Nuggets, they're also not getting that benefit of the doubt themselves. And here's another reason as well. You look at this Denver Nuggets team, they're not really talking to themselves, because you look at some other small market teams like the Memphis Grizzlies, you hear them all the time because they like to talk. But the Denver Nuggets, they're not one of those teams that likes to talk just for the sake of talking. I've addressed this earlier, but I'm going to say it again. In a way, the Nuggets are now what the Spurs were when you were growing up as a kid and when I was growing up as a kid, where they're just a small market team and they just care about playing basketball and they don't care about much of anything else. And their play style is not flashy either. Sure, Nikola Jokic has a good bag of moves. Sure, he has a great skill set, but it's not exactly like he's launching 40-foot threes. It's not exactly like he's dunking over 5 people on the basketball court. The Denver Nuggets, they're not flashy, they're not talkative, and they don't play in a big city, and the mainstream media really doesn't care for them anyways. So when you look at it like that, yeah, of course the Denver Nuggets are going to get disrespected.
I completely agree with you. And I like how you brought up the Spurs, because growing up, I've always said, like, Duncan, like, of course, I was a huge fan of him. And he was someone that wasn't always, like, getting the respect he deserved because he wasn't the flashiest guy. He wasn't the biggest personality. He just went in. He was fundamentally sound. He won games and performed great basketball. And Jokic does the same thing. And it's not just Jokic that I think gets disrespected too. I think it's the rest of the Denver team. Because if you look at Jamal Murray, he hasn't made a single All-Star game. And me and you both know that Jamal Murray is an all-star caliber player. They have Bruce Brown, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Aaron Gordon, people that they just think like, oh, they're not that good, or they're not like the biggest names, but they work well as a team. They have a lot of continuity in Denver, and a lot of people, they just looked at this team and say, oh, they didn't have a lot of superstars. I underestimated Denver just because I wasn't sure how good they were defensively, but due to the Nuggets' credit, what they've done on the offensive side of the ball, how they've played from a team perspective, how Michael Malone has been as a coach, they deserve the respect that they need to get, because the Nuggets, they might be champions. I'm not sure if they will win, but they have a good chance to win. And this season is already a success for Denver. They've gotten as far as they've ever been in their franchise history. And now, whether people like it or not, whether the viewers are going to show up for the finals, it's like the Nuggets are going to be there for the first time, and the best team in the West is going to represent their conference.
And you know what? This might be the new normal in the NBA. We might be seeing teams take turns of going to the finals year in and year out, because you got to remember the new CBA rules. They're going to be coming in pretty shortly as well. And it's going to be more of a hard cap than it was when we were growing up. So it might look a lot more like the NFL in terms of NBA teams being able to build things the right way and not necessarily forming super teams with basically unlimited amount of cap space. I'm looking at a team like the Golden State Warriors. Even though I love the Warriors, even though I'm a Warriors fan, I'm also pretty realistic knowing that in the modern NBA moving forward, they're not going to be able to build a team like that because of the new rules and everything like that. But credit to the Denver Nuggets, man, and for how they came up in Game 4, I thought they did a fantastic job in the second half being resilient. And how about Aaron Gordon, man? And you were on here last week, and I was telling you Aaron Gordon's got to knock down some key three-pointers, and he's got to provide him some scoring in order to really open up the rest of the floor. And what does Aaron Gordon do? He does nothing but drop 20-plus points in Game 4, and he did a good job providing spacing and playing pretty good defense when all things are considered. So I got to give Aaron Gordon tremendous props in there as well. But I really like how this Denver Nuggets team is constructed. They really built this thing up from the bottom up. They took no shortcuts, and their star players, they didn't take shortcuts in terms of trying to win championships and trying to form super teams as well. I think a lot of people appreciate that in Nikola Jokic. So to me, I just got to give the Denver Nuggets credit for that. But hey, they need to stop getting disrespected, and they need to start being given their props, because the Denver Nuggets are really that good of a basketball team. Now, every team is going to be constructed with a big three with amazing role players. Sometimes a team might only have 2 stars and they have a lot of role players where they are being elevated by a coaching system, and that's exactly what the Denver Nuggets are. And honestly, the Denver Nuggets, how can they stop being disrespected? Just keep winning, and the rest of the media will take care of themselves. Also, the fact that the Denver Nuggets don't really have any former players be in the mainstream media, so I think that's also a reason as well for why they're not getting as much coverage compared to other teams like the Los Angeles Lakers, like the New York Knicks, like the Boston Celtics, or even like the Phoenix Suns. So you got to take that into consideration as well.
Yeah, I mean, you got it on the dot, where the media coverage is the main reason why the Nuggets have been disrespected. And down the road in the NBA, how you brought up the CBA rules, but in the NBA, it's probably going to be a while until we see a repeat champion. I say it'll probably be at least a decade, just because in the NBA now, like free agency and trade deadlines, like it's so active that every team is different from year to year. So like everyone's always like reshuffling the deck. So down the road, we're going to see more parity, and we're going to see more teams like the Denver Nuggets. We're going to see smaller market teams. We're going to see teams that have been underestimated, may not have the flashiest names in the NBA finals and making deep runs, because that's the trajectory that the NBA is heading to. And honestly, as an NBA fan, I like a team like Denver and any other like small market team that's going to come out of nowhere and go on a deep run. I like that. I think it's better for the league. So the Nuggets, whether or not they've been getting disrespected or not, they're going to be in the finals, and they have a good chance to win.
And here's the thing as well, Nikola Jokic, man, he's the first player in Denver to truly love the Denver Nuggets. The Denver Nuggets have had stars throughout the years, but they didn't really love playing for Denver, and they really did not want to represent Denver Nuggets basketball whatsoever. Look at Carmelo Anthony, but you look at Nikola Jokic, he loves the city of Denver, he loves to rep the Denver Nuggets, so I gotta give him tremendous props for that as well. But just keep on winning, Denver, because if you keep winning, the disrespect will take care of itself. Alright, well, thanks for being on the show, Holden. Appreciate you coming on here. Alright, make sure you follow his Instagram accounts. He's got 2 of them. Make sure you follow him at Holden_great. He's also got another one. It's called @sports.analyze. Make sure you follow him on both of those accounts. Alright, thanks for being on the show, man.
Yeah, man. Thank you for having me. Have a good one.
Oh yeah, man. Definitely. Alright, see ya, bro. Yup. Bye. That was Holden Douglas that you guys just heard. So he stated his reasons for why he believed that the disrespect on the Denver Nuggets is there. Meanwhile, I stated my reasons for that as well. Overall, though, both of us are fans of small market teams. He's a Spurs fan. I'm a Hornets fan. So we like it when small market teams succeed. So that is why the Nuggets keep getting disrespected, despite the fact that they have been a really good team all season long. Remember, go ahead and subscribe to Sports Guy Talking. Like the video and please comment down below. If you guys do that, I may shout you guys out in my Instagram story every Monday. That will be for the @DustinTran Instagram account. Make sure to follow me on Instagram @DustinTran and @SportsGuyTalking. Also, go follow me on Twitter @DustinTran. Again, go ahead and do those things that I just told you guys to go do. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the content that was just produced. Peace out. I hope you enjoyed that video. Want more Sports Guy Talking, the home of great sports content? Make sure you click that subscribe button to get the latest from Sports Guy Talking. Go ahead and like the video. Comment down below. Check the description box on the video in order to follow my Instagram and Twitter. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from the YouTube channel, Sports Guy Talking.